Hi Darren, so swim video here. I think we got some really good stuff in actually, and some really good key focuses to start to build into your swimming. And you've obviously gone away and had some pretty good success translating it into the pool straight away. So just going to kind of go through everything through this, so you've got something to refer back to, and this might lead further questions, further discussions and stuff. So that is all good. So right, cool. Just going to get you going then. So we'll bounce back and forward through this video a bit. So first thing that we did, this hand entry, just go back here. Just want you to keep an eye on keeping this a bit wider. You can see their hand just coming slightly in front of the center line. Right hand pretty good in line with the shoulder, left hand just drifting in a bit. So just something to be really conscious of. Swimming 10 to 2, like say to yourself, like wide entry, fingertips in line with shoulders, and just exaggerate it a little bit more than you think you need to, just pushing that hand entry out a little bit, just to kind of make sure that we get straight into catch, because especially as we get into here, we've got some really nice underwater stuff going on there. So right hand comes in, and we're really starting to get into a nice high elbow, fingertips underneath elbow, driving water back. And then, same on the other side, breathing on that one. So we'll just skip through, and then, yeah. So there's some good stuff there. And we got a good shot there. So starting to create that diamond, create that 90-degree bend in the elbow. Really get the stroke going with our fingertips. We've got a nice catch position there, like nice entry position there. So to get that into a, just keep getting that into a catch position. And from here, really don't be afraid to dip the wrist down a little bit. So we've got fingertips below the wrist. So then we've got hand kind of up to the elbow, up to the shoulder. That's not brilliant, but you get the idea of getting that down. So then if I clear that as we come through the stroke, really just progressing that. So that's really nice there. You can see that we've got this really nicely here. And if we come down shoulder to hand, we've really got that. So we can just progress that on a bit further. And this is something that's obviously going to take time and a bit of practice, but just so that hand comes down a bit quicker. So we're really getting that in underneath. So get the hand down. So to be a true high elbow kind of catch, we'd want to see the hand probably down there whilst maintaining the elbow there. So really just exaggerate that internal rotation of the shoulder, getting your fingertips towards the bottom of the pool. And then, so when we've got that position, if we just go back a bit, cool. So that's really nice there. So it's just getting into that a little bit earlier. We can see that actually that arm is quite nicely an extension of the shoulders. We've got nice in there, hand down, fingertips towards the bottom of the pool. So from that point there, all the water we're pushing, that's supposed to be back towards your toes. So it's back parallel to the rear wall. And that's ideal, that's the most efficient way to move forward. So if we just come down to this left side, because you bilaterally breathe, so you can see the elbow coming back through there. That's really nice. So it's just elbow coming back, palm underneath. So it's just exaggerating this more and more, because actually by the time you want to come back through here, and we'll just see if we can find a better clip. There, cool. So that we're getting that really vertical forearm. You can see here that the elbow is just coming back slightly ahead of the hand. So with time and a bit of practice, really rotating that shoulder in a little bit more, so that we've actually got our forearm and hand down. So then we are definitely pushing water backwards. So that's really good. And I think that's something, that you've gone away and practiced and said that you felt that with stronger strokes, you've started to See those kind of 130 per hundreds, and you can feel that you're applying pressure to the water more, and like swimming strong and not fast. And like one of the cues, and I don't think I mentioned to you, I think I ended up putting it on a comment in Training Peaks, is you know, one of the ways I like to think about swimming is long and strong. So we're long at the front and we're strong all the way through. And I think one of the other things that we talked about a bit was alignment and posture, making sure, because what we've got here is we've actually got nice hip and shoulder rotation together. And one thing I have just looked at that we didn't go through, and I'll just do it now. Perfect, cool. It's just this breath timing. And actually, because if you look, so if we let you go through this breath towards the camera, actually keep pretty good control of that left arm. And then breath there, you can see just pretty good there as well. So just making sure we're blowing bubbles out underwater, so we can see like probably just, yeah, dumping your oxygen last minute a little bit. So no bubbles and then bubbles. So you could certainly get that blowing out a little bit earlier. Might just help your breath a bit quicker. And then if we go back a few strokes. Yeah, good. That's quite nice breath timing. And it's just making sure that you kind of, when you're thinking about the breathing, you're thinking about pulling yourself into the breath, which is good there because you're pulling through, you're rotating round, and then breath, and then your head is back in, arm over the top. And good. And what else we can see here is something that we didn't really speak about, but you've got it quite good, is what we'd kind of call front quadrant timing of your stroke. And I think with the slower, more controlled stroke rate, this helps. So actually you can see as that hand just starts to come back past, your right hand, your right hand just starts to come back past into pull through the shoulder. That left one is just entering, and that's really nice timing. So let's really keep that, and you can see the same there. This one's just starting to pull back, and that one's in at the front. So we've got good front quadrant timing with the stroke. So I think core engagement is going to be a good one. You know, when you push off the wall, pull your belly button into your spine, squeeze your glutes a little bit. Make sure you've got that core really nicely set up to hold tension through the body. And then just focusing on keeping this entry wide and just practicing getting into that high elbow catch, putting power through the stroke, and thinking about swimming with your lats and not with your shoulders. So when you reach down, so we've got good rotation there. We can see hips and shoulders rotating together. We're into catch. And really at that point, engaging your right side lats and the left side hip dropping down towards the bottom of the pool to help drive that all the way through. And then come through on the other side. You can see just holding that left arm out nicely in front and then coming through. And I think if we're just being, giving you something else to go on, and like don't try and work on all of this at once, but there's a couple of quite good shots. Especially with this 2-beat kick. You've got this 2-beat kick thing quite nice, and I don't think there's really any need to push on much more than that. But just be conscious, you can see that in your right knee, quite a significant bend in your right knee that drives the kick, and that just drops the hips a little bit. And then as you come through other side, not so much in the left, but just be conscious to really drive that kick from the hip and not from the knee. And I think that's something that comes from just holding your posture, so making yourself as aligned and as long as possible in the pool. So you're pushing your fingertips out in front of you on your kind of entry and your extension, and you're focusing on pushing your toes back behind you to make you as long and stable as possible. And it'll just help keep your feet up. It'll help drive that kick from the hip. And that's just breaking your shoulder profile a little bit and letting your hips drop. So whilst it's not, hugely detrimental to your swim, and I'd be more conscious of working on the front end stuff first, it's just something to be aware of, especially when you're doing drills with fins and you're doing a bit of kick work and stuff like that. Really just making sure that your knees are nice and straight. You're driving a light flutter from the hips instead of the kick from the knee. But other than that, I think really nice session and, some good things to go away from, but we're definitely refining and not reinventing your stroke here, and that's a nice place to be. And like I said, don't be surprised if your legs, what am I on about? Your arms feel a little bit more tired and muscularly fatigued after swim sets as you start to engage muscles a little bit differently, but it's certainly something that will adapt pretty quickly and you'll get used to.